Okay, we are back. And we need to destroy the Lyran Lance. Due to logistical issues, we have only a single heavy air asset to task with the destruction of an isolated enemy force. We'd like to hire you to fill out the unit to full strength and provide support. With any luck, we won't have to do much more than confirm kills. Easy money, Commander. Indeed. So let's go on through here.
Command interface initiated.
Amateurs again, huh? Okay. Is this the same map? I think this is the same map. Okay, that's a little awkward. We're going to deploy here, and we'll just make our way over. Because it's a Lyran Lance, it should be super easy. It's a half skull. We have a heavy bomber. Should be fine. That is the Nidcognito. Running a Gauss Rifle M9 and dual AMS flares, awkward, and dual ATGM missile racks. Seems fine. Not really an in-close heavy bomber.
I've got eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're
Okay.
heading your way.
Well, I guess so much for that being a super easy milk run. But we're going to make our way up here as quickly as we can. We're going to get our Hollander up here. Hit odds are not going to be good here. We're going to have 6 They don't have evasive. Oh my. Look at that. We're not going to kill this thing. But that's going to be a lot of damage. I like it. Okay, what else do we have going on here? These guys are hanging out over here, and we'll deal with them afterwards, if we can. They shoot at our Hollander, they get no damage done. I love it. Okay, our Nidcognito is definitely going to move up here.
I'm walking here.
And I would love to fire... Okay, we only have 4 ATGM missiles. Or actually, we have 2 total, don't we? Yeah. So we should not fire those. We should fire our M9 Gauss rifle as much as possible. I'm going to shoot at this hunter, and we're going to hope to eliminate it here. Sadly, we didn't hit the same place that our previous Gauss did. But
What's up, Bob?
our hatchetman is going to move up to here.
Position confirmed.
And the hatchetman is also going to fire on this hunter. Odds are very good that we kill it here.
One step.
We hit only armor there. Wow. 1 hit point of armor left. And what is it up here? We don't know. It disappeared. Okay. This commando's running around. We're definitely going to burn our missiles on the mechs over there. And do we even think that we need the MRM? Probably not, is the answer here. It's a little greedy, but we got it. Cool.
Gotcha.
So 1 out of 8 destroyed. That's an Ignis. Okay. Pretty hefty frontal armor on that thing. The scimitar shooting at our hatchman, that's a lot of instability. Good to know. Okay. So over here, they have a J. Edgar, a Venom, a Commando, and a Stinger. So they have 3 mechs, and none of them are hugely dangerous. And this J. Edgar is not dangerous at all. Cool. That Venom is closing in.
Waiting for orders.
Our Hollander is going to hop up over here.
Location confirmed.
We're going to go for the rear arc on this scimitar.
Copy.
And we miss.
Negative damage.
That's
Repeat,
sad.
Negative damage.
Very sad indeed. These guys are working on closing in.
What do you need?
Our Wolverine's going to walk up over here.
I'll do
This
what I
time I
can.
am going to fire the MRM.
Roger.
That eliminates a lot of armor from that scimitar.
They will be
The
done.
Nidhogg can move up and continue to fire that Gauss.
Got the angle. Take the
Really?
shot. Failed to connect.
That was like, wasn't that a 99.1% chance? I'm pretty sure that was a 99.1% chance. I'd have to double check. But that's nutty. Okay.
Aye,
So that J. Edgar is closing in over there. That's fine. It's not very threatening to us. The Hunter going for the Wolverine. That's okay. And now it's going to be this Ignis. A little bit of heat into the Hatchetman. It should be fine. I don't think that's a huge problem. The instability from this Scimitar, though, that is potentially a problem for us. It moved all the way up over there, so that's not an issue.
Commander.
The Hollander from here can fire reasonably well on both of these.
Confirmed.
43 and 56. We're going to go for the Hunter. We missed. That's okay. Honestly, this is not a very good Nidhogg version, if to be completely frank.
Yep.
The Wolverine is going to move up over here,
Moving to position.
and we could fire on the Ignis, or we could fire on the Hunter. Hit odds are slightly higher on the Hunter.
Let her rip.
Cool. Reasonable damage there. So that J. Edgar's backing off a little bit.
How's it going?
Our Hatchetman is going to close in up over
On
here.
my way.
I think we fire on the Ignis.
Roger that.
Yeah, decent armor damage there. It's very thick frontal armor, though. I do wish we were able to put the Nidhogg into
Yes, ma'am.
our vehicle slot. That would have been really nice, but sadly,
way.
I don't think you can actually do that. Okay. So 93.5% on this Hunter. Let's take it.
Taking the shot.
That's a success. Fantastic. The Venom moves up here. Does nothing, of course. It's working on closing in. Their reinforcement lance over here is not really going to be complicated for us, just vaguely annoying. This is intended to be a quick and easy mission, but that'll complicate things a little bit. I'd love it if the Scimitar would turn around and come back. The Hunter moves up over there, fires on the Wolverine. No big deal. Okay. Well, at this point, we can move our Hatchetman up over here. This is rear arc on the Ignis, which is
Affirmative.
kind of huge.
See how you like this.
We took out some coolant there. I like it.
Target's taking a critical hit.
And I want to check what its armor is like. It won't let me open that up just yet. Okay. Spread out pretty widely, but we should be able to get in there. So I'm going to move the Nidhogg up over here. And we're going to hit this Hunter's rear arc.
Firing at enemy 6.
Structure exposure with 11 damage. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, only 9 HP
Yeah.
left there. So the Wolverine is going to move up over here. And we're going to finish off the rear arc of this Ignis in theory. Oh yeah, it's totally dead.
God damn, we're gonna do this right.
Cool.
Target destroyed.
So now these remaining two vehicles over here don't have very much left. These guys are getting close. So as they pop over this ridge, we're going to start shooting at them with the Hollander probably. That Scimitar is running to the edge of the map, which is
Receiving you.
slightly obnoxious, but I'm going to reserve the Hollander here.
Waiting for the right move.
Have they all moved over here? Yes. So we may as well move the Hollander at this point
Commander.
then. The Hollander will position here.
Got it.
Okay. So all they need to move is this Hunter. That's completely fine. The Hunter is now feeling confident. So we're going to position right over here. Oh,
Onward.
well, this is turreted, right? No, it's not turreted. Awkward. We're going to have to shoot at this scimitar because I positioned us wrong.
Your armor it is.
And we miss. That was definitely my fault.
What do you need?
So the Wolverine is, at this point, going to head up over this way.
Acknowledged.
And we're going to start breaching this ridge very
Need
shortly.
something, Chief?
The Hatchetman will head up this way as well. It's a little on the slow side, but that's to be expected. So let's see what they do here. The Venom backs off. Okay, that's fine.
Let's do this.
And the Hollander is going to actually get in LOS here. We can shoot at the J. Edgar. Now, our hit odds aren't great, but we'll give it a go. Close, but we did not hit. That Stinger's running around out there. The J. Edgar moves over to here. Okay. The Commando closes in a bit and doesn't do too much. Okay. So this guy moved to here, and this scimitar is just doing that running to the edge of the map thing.
I'm
'Kay.
here.
So our Nidhogg is going to position here. We're going to go for the Hunter,
On your tail.
and it's completely gone.
One less target.
Beautiful. Next
Standing
up, our
by.
Hollander is going to position here. I'm going to Vigilance it because it's the only target for these 3 units. Best odds are on this Commando.
Firing up. I hit something
Nice.
good.
A solid hit there. So they're going to move the Commando in the J. Edgar here. As expected, they go for the Hollander. That's why we braced it. Commando moves up. Ooh. Even through the brace, we need to work on the Hollander's armor. That's for sure. Okay.
Yes.
So the Hatchetman is going to sprint its way up over here,
Consider me there.
and we're going to fire on this J. Edgar. Odds are not great.
Comes the show.
Only 20 damage there. That definitely could have gone better. A PPC on the Nidhogg. That's not a big deal. We're going to bring in the Nidhogg over this way next, but the Wolverine is going to sprint its way up to block here. It's not in cover, but it doesn't have to be. Hit odds are best on the J. Edgar, and we're going to go for that. I don't think we get the kill here. But we definitely trimmed down its armor a little bit. So that's good. Next is Venom moves. It goes for the Nidhogg with another PPC, but it fails. Cool. That Scimitar moves up, goes for our Hollander, and fails. Okay.
Commander.
So at this point, the only thing that the Hollander can shoot at is the J. Edgar. The Hollander does not kill the J. Edgar. It can position here. I kind of like it.
Moving to position.
This rear arc
All weapons locked. Go.
does kill it.
One less
Beautiful.
target.
So the J. Edgar's out of here.
Receiving you.
At this point, the Nidhogg is going to start accelerating over this
Going
direction.
full throttle.
80% on this stinger, huh? I'm going to fire 1 missile rack.
Engaging.
Well, we missed the Gauss, but we hit the missile.
I think things are going swimmingly.
Check out the stinger's arm.
What do you need?
The Wolverine is, from here, going to begin to advance. To right here.
Roger.
We're going to hit this commando with whatever we can, which isn't a huge amount. Our hit odds aren't great. But we do get some MRMs in there.
Standing by.
And our hatchetman is going to close in as well.
Confirmed.
Slightly better hit odds there. Oh, we actually killed him. Wow.
Hostile eliminated.
Okay, I like it. The Venom goes for the Hollander. We definitely do need to put more armor on the Hollander, and now that we have endosteel structure, a lot of them, we should do that. So that Stinger continues to fire on our Nidhogg. What else do they move in Phase 11? Oh, this guy. Yeah. He shoots at the Nidhogg. He's not going to get anything done here. Yeah, literally nothing. Cool.
I'm ready.
So our Nidhogg is going to close in over this direction.
Acknowledged.
We can go for the Venom, or we can go for the Stinger here. We're going to go for the Stinger, and now that I know that it is built into the weapon, not individual, we're going to fire the second ATGM.
Firing on target.
That is a very damaged Stinger.
Ooh, that hit something good. I'm
Cool.
out of LRM.
The Hatchetman is going to move in here, and we are going to go for the physical attack on the Venom. Odds are not the best,
Moving
but we'll give it a go. Yeah, we do miss that kick, which is sad.
That's a miss.
Some moderate LBX damage there. The Stinger moves up and has basically nothing
Yes,
left.
Commander.
The Hollander at this point has really low hit odds. The right arm. We can do this. It's risky, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to Vigilance, and we're going to fire at this Stinger. We did miss.
Damn it.
Okay. Now the Venom moves, and this is why this was risky. It just ran away. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah?
No problem there. The Wolverine is going to attempt to pursue it. We get a rear arc here. It's not going to be good hit odds, for sure. But we can attempt.
Here we go.
We missed everything there. I'm not shocked about that, though.
I missed?
You did indeed. Okay, now this guy moves, and he can go for the Hollander. We'll see what he gets there. He just runs away too.
Good
I like
to
it.
go.
So the Hollander moves again. We can go for either of these. The odds are way better on this Stinger.
Alpha strike.
And that's a dead Stinger. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
Down.
I'm going to now send our Nidhogg out over this way after this scimitar.
Hang out. Full speed.
Hit odds aren't really high enough to do the ATGM.
Target lock on
But there we
enemy's
go.
rear. My life is now devoid of meaning.
As well it should be. Your life should be devoid of meaning right now. So the Venom is currently just running away. It came back a little bit there.
Yep.
So the Wolverine is going to move in over here. This is kind of ideal range. Hit odds are very mediocre, though.
I'm taking the shot.
A little bit more armor reduction
Hey
there.
there.
The Hatchetman can come in here,
I copy.
and we'll do a little bit more armor damage to this Venom. But we need to get closed in on it. Okay, we'll see what this Scimitar does. Any moment now, Scimitar. As I'm realizing that I'm actually in the wrong position for the chat. There we go. Fantastic. So they did shoot at the Hollander. That's not surprising. But they didn't get any internal damage, which is a bit surprising.
Standing by.
So this is a giant pot shot here, but we have a 25% chance. Let's give it a go. Did not happen. We're not shocked.
Failed to connect.
That thing is way out there. So this Venom is going to move now. We'll see what it does. Well,
They
now.
don't like me at all.
81 damage. Is that a heavy PPC?
Ready for orders.
That's a little nutty. Okay, well, we're going to continue to close in on this Scimitar.
Oh,
It doesn't have a chance from here. We're not really going to hit the ATGM, so we'll just fire and
behind
miss.
you.
But it's right up
That's a
against the
miss.
edge of the map here soon, so
I'm here.
should be fine. The Wolverine is going to close in here. And we're going to add in a kick roll.
Copy that.
And we miss. We're not shocked, but a little saddened. We did get a head hit there. I guess that's something.
SRMs are out.
Okay.
Good
Our
to go.
Hatchetman is now going to come up here as well. As soon as the game stops lagging. There we go. We're just going to go for a kick here. We're not going to use a physical weapon because the kick is actually just better.
Aka.
But we missed the kick.
Negative damage. Repeat.
Ooh, that was a
Negative damage.
nice LBX hit, though. Cool. So we'll see what they decide to do with their LRMs here. Continuing to run and shooting at the Nidhogg that they completely miss. No problem. Okay.
I'm your spaniel.
So we're not going to sprint the Nidhogg, and we're going to start decelerating it a bit. So we move in here. I am going to fire the ATGM here. This is the last ATGM.
One in the back.
There we go.
Do the math.
That lance is gone.
One less
Now for the
touch.
reinforcements.
Receiving you.
So the Hollander can turn around here, but our angle isn't great. This would be a better angle, even though our hit odds are slightly lower. We're hoping not to stray shot. There's still a decent chance of it.
Taking the shot.
Okay, we missed. But we did not stray shot.
Missed.
That's good.
Standing by.
From here, we've got this Venom cornered. We are just going to melee it. Like, repeatedly. Until we actually manage to hit it once. That's all we have to do is hit it once. And we did. We just hit it there. So now he's unsteady. And that means that the Hatchman is going to do a lot more. Sadly, after that, we missed both of our weapons shots. That's very unfortunate.
Commander.
But that means that this Hatchman has a way better chance to hit. And we're basically out of cluster LBX ammo as well. We can actually switch over to slug if we need to, but cluster will do better for right now. That's a leg destruction, which means he gets knocked down.
Critical hit, Commander.
And he's just gone. Beautiful. So that was less of a milk run than we were hoping. To be
Enemy
sure.
down.
Yeah, Darius, that was not a milk run.
Mission successful.
Well, it kind of was. But there were 2 lances. So it certainly could have been a more milky milk run, if that makes any sense. Well, we'll go ahead and see what we get from salvage here. Hopefully something halfway decent. Any moment now, salvage. You can do it. You can do it. It doesn't think it can do it, but it can do it. I assure you. Okay, there we go. A little bit of cash. We knew there wasn't going to be a lot. We took a little bit of damage too. I would like to rework our Hollander at this point. They want the 2 Venom parts. These aren't very good. I refuse. But do we actually want the Venom parts? That's something to think about. What I do want is that heavy PPC, if that's available. There's a PPC capacitor here. We could take that. What are the odds of failure? 10% failure on activation, 15% additional failure chance on consecutive turns. Chance of failure reduced by piloting skill. We'll grab the PPC capacitor. And that might mean that that was just a regular PPC with a PPC capacitor behind it. We could grab a Venom part here as well and call that good. What else do we get? A bunch of parts here. A dual machine gun. Okay. Engine core 175. We don't have that. A couple of standard FCSs and generic structures and sensors. Okay. Mediocre. But it'll do. The PPC capacitor will be nice, but we don't have any PPCs at this time. And now here I am looking at my recording and seeing that it's 26 minutes and thinking it's about time to put a cut in here, but this is a stream, so that's not how this works. Okay, Yang. What do we got? It shouldn't be too bad, but I do want to completely refit the Hollander here. We're going to keep the Gauss rifle as his primary weapon, obviously. That's kind of how Hollanders work. But I want to make that armor be less paper. It's currently very much paper armor. There's no doubt about that. Okay, what do we got? 25k, 10 days, do it. So we're going to cancel the Hollander. Everything else is fine. And we're going to hop into the mech bay and redo the Hollander. So, no, not the Mongoose, the Hollander. The armor on this thing is just terrible right now. So we'll repair all, make sure that that's done. We've got a double Gauss ammo here. We've got 1.25 tons approximately. We're already running ferrofibrous endosteel structure. Yikes. And these are free heat sinks, aren't they? They are. That's a pretty major yikes, actually. So we only have 4.25 tons to devote to armor. This is why this thing is so weak. I mean, we can definitely bring this up a little bit. But I would really, really like to get more armor on this. We could downgrade our engine. Hollanders don't have to move quickly. It's an engine core 175 right now. We could bring it down to like a 160. Or even lower, like an engine core 100. That would be interesting. 2 and 4 compared to its original 5 and 7. So it would be a lot slower. Let's actually just max out this armor. And let's see how much tonnage we have to save here. Keep in mind, ferrofibrous armor becomes more efficient the more of it you have. So our ferrofibrous armor here will save us additional weight with every unit of armor that we add on here. Okay. Something like that. So we need to shave off about 4 tons. Cool. So let's drop down to a 170 here. And check to see our heat sinks here. We're going to need more external heat sinks as we drop this down. Okay, so we'll drop this down to a 160. 155. 160 didn't seem to change anything. 5 tons and 5 tons. There's literally no reason to be on a 160 when a 170 is the same. Sure. We're going to go down to the 120 here. The 105. It's got to be the 100. Okay. So what do we need here for external heat sinks? We need 3 external heat sinks. That shouldn't be a problem. The Hollander would basically be an artillery unit with that 100 engine. It already is. All it has is a Gauss rifle. That's the point. It's supposed to be an artillery unit. So we need how many heat sinks here to make this happen? 4, 5, and 6. Like that. So this has a ton remaining. I don't suppose... Well, one thing we could do is we could drop the ferrofibrous. That is an option. That would make it easier to repair. The ferrofibrous is not, strictly speaking, necessary here as is. So one thing I'm thinking about doing here... Another thing we could actually do is a light engine. How much would that cost? That's usually pretty expensive. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. That would allow us to bring up our engine size somewhat. I doubt it would let us get to like a 170. Yeah, no. Maybe like a 120? Yeah, a 120 would be where we'd be able to go. I mean, that's still roughly twice as fast as it was with a 100, so that might be worthwhile. With that, we can't drop the ferrofibrous. Overall, I think this is better. I think this is an improvement. It's a lot more durable. It's slightly slower, to be sure, but it's not hugely slow. And being a Hollander, that's reasonably fine. So I think this will do. It's expensive, but we have the funds. Yeah, the upper arm actuator can be destroyed. That's fine. So that'll take 16 days to get the Hollander up and running. So we've got the Hollander and the Jenner that are both going to take a little while. We'll go ahead and tick forward a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to have our financial report here in 4 days. Do we want to deploy without both the Hollander and the Jenner? That would basically mean deploying the Mongoose. Which, I mean... It's got the 2 medium lasers and the small laser. That's not the worst thing. 2 Hatcheman, Wolverine, Mongoose. We could do that. Make some of that money back that we just spent on the Hollander. I think that's fine. Here's a 1 skull for about 1.2 million. Free Worlds League versus Dabian. It's another battle mission, which is getting a little tedious. What was this one back here? 1.3. This is a capture base. We could run it straight down the middle like this. It's 1.5 skull. So that's a little bit more up there. But we can definitely run this Hatcheman and this Mongoose. Now, instead of running Majestic here, we're going to ditch Majestic for the moment. Behemoth has Hatchetman affinities. So there we go. Do I have anybody with Mongoose affinities? Well, it's not going to be Big Tom. Jenner. No affinities at all. Okay. We'll bring Von Cobra. Von Cobra has no affinities currently. So we'll just do that. We can't deploy anything else, sadly, because these are vehicle or infantry slots only, which we don't have any of those currently. So we'll just see how this goes. Darius thinks this will be hard. We'll see how right he is. He's usually not amazingly right. And our mechs are getting stronger all the time. The Hollander and the Jenner will be much more durable. Neither of them are going to do a lot more damage, but they're both going to be a whole lot more durable. The real question is there an initial garrison, or is this like the last one that we did, which was just you walk up to the base, kill a lance, call it a day? We're hoping for the latter, of course, but we'll see. If nothing can go wrong, something will. That sounds right. Or at least, like RogueTech. Well, let's get this loaded in. Von Cobra is such a Saturday morning cartoon villain name. It really is. It really, really is. Of course, to be honest, BattleTech is kind of a Saturday morning cartoon villain setting. Like, everybody in this universe pretty much is a Saturday morning cartoon villain, so... We need to capture the Ordnance Depot. We've been tracking the movement of several Lyran convoys, and that's allowed us to pinpoint their destinations. A hidden, well-defended Ordnance Depot. This facility is a key supplier for local Lyran forces, and taking it from them will significantly damage their efforts against us. We'd like you to drop in, take the depot, and hold out against any enemy reinforcements. This should be straightforward. Move up, recon the depot, and then occupy it. Once we secure the area, the planetary government will send in their people to loot the place. Okay. So let's see what we've got here.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, it's deserted again. Cool. And we have allies. And it's raining. Okay. We'll drop our lance right here. There's no garrison. Yep. And they're coming back, as expected. So our allies are just kind of running around up there. A Wasp land air mech, huh? Okay. Well, our Wolverine is not going to be the one to grab this. That'll be our Mongoose. And we don't know where they're going to come from, so we'll just park
Copy that.
out over this
Location
way-ish.
confirmed.
Cool.
On my way.
Okay. For the time being, we'll just
Got something you want done?
have our Mongoose out
On
over
my
here,
way.
and we'll just brace everybody. Where are they at? Oh, it's a tiny atlas. Cool. I always like the tiny atlas.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile contacts inbound.
Oh, Fenrir over there. Okay. Behold. If I can get in there. Behold. The tiny atlas. I just find hammers so funny looking. Cool. So we are, at this point,
What's
going
up,
to
Bob?
move up over here and engage this Fenrir. Fenrirs actually can be really hard to hit. Like, really, really hard to hit. They've already moved.
Ready for orders.
And we're going to position up over this way.
Understood. Moving fast.
We don't know where the other reinforcements are just yet. That land air mech comes over, fires on the Fenrir. Gets no missiles in. That's not shocking. Killing this Fenrir could take a while. We're going to move up with our Wolverine. And that hammer moves over, fires on the Fenrir as well. This is indirect. They're never going to hit it. Ever. So let's see what the enemies do here. We only see one unit. What else do they have? That is a stealthy-looking commando.
Yes, Commander.
And we may want to prioritize that over the Fenrir, at least for now. But even that's going to be very difficult to hit. I'm going to move our Mongoose up here to try to do a little bit of scouting.
Hey there.
And our Hatchetman is going to close in over this way. I want our mediums to engage the Fenrir, if at all possible. So here comes that Fenrir. Okay. How many evasive does it have? It didn't move very far, but Fenrir's don't have to. 6. Yeah, that's going to be rough. Hitting that Fenrir is going to be intensely rough. Well, the land air mech comes over and fires on the Fenrir. It misses. We're not shocked about this in the slightest. That thing is incredibly hard to hit. The hammer moves up and doesn't do anything of note.
Yes, Commander.
Our hatchetman is going to close in over here. Our hit odds are actually better than I expected to see. That's a really good sign. Yeah, that was okay for firing on a Fenrir. I've definitely seen way worse. Okay, so that stealthy commando comes in. At this point, I would love for our mongoose to hit this guy rear arc. We'll see how viable that is.
On my way.
And we don't know what else they have. There should be another 2 units.
Negative damage.
Yeah, we completely missed the commando. Hopefully the tiny Atlas will join us in meleeing this commando.
Receiving.
For now, our hatchetman is going to close in on the Fenrir. And I would love to start rolling some kicks.
Acknowledged.
We missed the kick, not surprising.
That is
Oh, we actually hit the autocannon there. That's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
The Wolverine will move in, and we're mostly only kicking for additional rolls on this Fenrir.
Moving to position.
We just want to get as many rolls as we can on it. The MRMs will also be pretty good for that. But man, we missed basically every MRM there. Okay, phase 17. Is it just these 2? I mean, even if it is, those Fenrirs hurt. As you can tell by that.
My internals are taking a beating.
Now, he moved from here to here. Check this out. 5 evasive pips. From here to here. Insane.
Ready to get it on.
So the mongoose is going to continue rolling the rear arc on this commando. We're not expecting too much. We do miss.
Negative damage. Repeat. Negative damage.
I don't think we got any damage on him there. Nope, we did not. Okay. We'll see what the land air mech does here. What would my preference be for the land air mech? I want it to keep rolling on the Fenrir, honestly. What does it have? LRM-5 medium laser. That's not very much. But honestly, it's also super hard to hit. Land air mechs take a while to calculate where they want to go. Ooh. He got a good snipe on that commando's rear arc. I like it. The commando also hit the rear arc, but they also stray shot our rear arc. So that's mediocre.
Standing by.
Okay, our hatchetman absolutely needs to get in here. And we're going to keep trying to hit this Fenrir. It's not going to go well. We miss another melee. We hit the autocannon again. That's a lot. The Fenrir's armor is getting low. The commando moves now. And we'll see what it decides to do. Goes for the hatchetman. Okay. For now, that's fine.
Commander?
Our hatchetman is able to come around over this way. We may actually want to go for the commando here, though.
Position confirmed.
Just because of hit odds. So we'll try to take out this commando's front arc a little bit. More, I'm trying to make him a little bit unstable. Okay.
Commander, I'm starting
Our
to cook.
Wolverine is absolutely going to come over here and continue to kick this Fenrir.
Let's move.
That's an unsuccessful kick, not shocking.
Targeting system janky.
Yeah, we just miss everything. Those Fenrirs are insane. Absolutely bonkers. So it backs off a bit.
I'm being flanked.
Goes through the rear arc on the Wolverine. And once again, it moved from here
That's all
to
you
here.
got?
It moved like 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. 6 evasive pips. Nutty. So that commando obviously needs to be taken care of. But it positioned itself super weakly here. The hammer moves up, goes for the commando's rear arc. That's good. I like that move.
Waiting for orders.
Von Cobra is going to move in over here and also go for the commando's rear arc
Time to unload.
and miss everything. Okay. So next up, I think we're going to hang back a little bit from the Fenrir. I'm getting tired of it backstabbing. We'll see what our land air mech does here. Hopefully it gets another good... I keep trying to say smite, but snipe is the word I'm looking for. Fantastic. It heads on over. Ooh, it got the kill. Good. Fantastic. Missing 4 targets with that many shots at that range is impressive in a way. Yeah, I mean, Fenrirs are insane with the amount of evasive that they get.
Waiting for orders.
So we're just going to spin around our Hatcheman here, I think, or maybe even pull back over this way a bit. Only 9.6% hit odds, so on the kick. So we're not going to roll that. We're just going to shoot at this guy. Did we stray shot that? I think we might have.
That didn't hit.
No, we absolutely didn't. Okay,
Waiting
so our
for
Hatchetman is going to head off over this direction. We're overheating currently, and so we're going to let our heat drop.
What do you need?
And our Wolverine is going to try to get to ideal MRM range here. There we go. And do what we can do here. We got another hit with that auto cannon. And in fact, that's a number of MRMs hitting there. 2 medium pulse laser destructions is a huge deal. That's like half of their armament. Beautiful. None of their individual subunits are destroyed currently. But that will change soon. That land air mech moves over. It doesn't get the snipe this time. Okay. Well, we'll see what the Fenrirs do. Only 1 firing there. Does it only have 3 medium pulse lasers? Hang on. I thought it had 4. Oh, we did kill 3. We destroyed 3.
Commander.
Beautiful. So our Mongoose can come in here. This Fenrir is a lot less dangerous now. It's just very difficult to hit. So we're going to come in here and start rolling again.
Engaging.
Oh, we actually hit that melee. Granted, vehicles like this, or rather infantry like this, don't have stability, so that doesn't actually
Yes, Commander.
drop his evasive, which is sad. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to melee him, but I guess we're just going to stand here.
Firing all weapons.
Okay. Cool.
Good to go.
So the Hatchetman is going to close in over this way as close as it can.
On
These
my
hit
way,
odds are
Delta.
absolutely abysmal. And we're just going to sink the rest of our heat there. And then our Wolverine is going to come in here. And yeah, these hit odds are just horrific. But we're going to try it.
Targeting for physical attack.
Like single-digit hit odds there. Now we're in minimum range of the MRMs, so I'm not hugely shocked about the MRMs. We should really probably keep the Wolverine back a little bit. The Fenrir backs off and fires on the Mongoose. That's fine. So we want to close in with these 3 mechs and keep the Mongoose a little further back. The Hammer moves up and doesn't do anything. The Hatchetman definitely wants to move in here and go for a melee attack.
Got it. Done.
We missed the
Physical
melee attack, but that's not shocking with a Fenrir. It's a good thing there's only 2 units here. Those Fenriers are just so tough to deal with at this point. Once your pilots are better, they're not so bad, but at this stage of the game, they can be rough. That land air mech comes on over, fires this LRM-5. It actually destroys the subunit there. Cool. So there's only 3 remaining Fenrir troops.
Standing by.
The Mongoose is definitely going to walk in over this way and try to kick. Hit odds are very low. We missed the kick.
Missed.
And we miss everything else as well. I'm not shocked by that.
Reporting negative damage.
Okay.
Yeah?
So our Wolverine is going to hang back a little further so that we're in ideal range for MRMs. There we go.
Firing.
Got through the armor on one of those subunits. Oh, 2 subunits destroyed there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I thought there was already 1 dead, but I guess not. There are 2 remaining.
Ready
So our
to
hatchetman
go.
is now going to come on in over here. We
Roger.
can't quite close in to melee range without charging. So we're just going to
Roger that.
fire on this Fenrir as best we can. Getting a little bit of damage in there with the pulse lasers. That was all armor damage there. They do still have that 1 medium pulse laser.
They're flanking.
Only 1 of those hit, even though all 3 went through the hatchetman physically. I'll take it.
Receiving
At this
you.
point, our Mongoose is definitely...
Acknowledge.
No. I guess we're not going to melee. Okay.
Acknowledge.
I was going to melee there, but sure. Panic level critical. I like it. We're doing okay here. And this Mongoose, or rather the Fenrir, should be pretty killable with the MRM pretty soon. But let's see what we end up getting with the land air mech here. Okay, it took out... I think that's all of the armor gone at this point. The hammer moves up and fires on the Fenrir as well. Gets 2 damage in there. But the Fenrir has no armor remaining and only 32 health.
Receiving you.
So at this point, we're getting to the point...
I copy.
Really, I clicked right on it. It's so hard to target these with the melee attacks. Like, sure, it's hard to hit them, but it's also hard to click on it.
Firing a full tilt.
There's another 4 points of damage into that Fenrir. Good.
Now that is something good.
Ready for orders.
And now our other hatchetman is going to... No!
Location confirmed.
Okay, I guess we just can't melee it.
Confirmed.
Sure. I'm only single clicking too. That's not the way that's supposed to work, because it's supposed to require a confirmation.
What do you need?
I don't know. Well, we're going to move the Wolverine over this way. That's ideal range for the MRM. And we'll see what we can get in there.
Targeting burnout.
I think we managed to stray shot the land air mech there. There's the other medium pulse laser destroyed. So this Fenrir is now no threat to us. And it'll move through this fire and take a little burn damage. And that actually destroyed a subunit. Cool. There's only 1 remaining.
Receiving you.
So now... Okay, now it's letting me melee. Cool. We'll get that extra roll in there. Hey, there we go. Finally. Those Fenrirs are tough. Not tough to, like... Not tough in that they're threatening. They're just really hard to hit. Okay.
Mission
Let's see what we get from salvage here. I wouldn't mind having a Fenrir of our own, in all honesty. I kind of doubt it'll happen, but that would be nice. Realistically, there's not going to be much salvage available other than the Fenrir. So, we might want to go for it. I also don't think that we're going to have enough parts to get it here, so there's that too. Well, any moment now, RogueTech, you can give us that sweet, sweet salvage screen. It's beginning to load in. There we go. Okay, So let's see what we've got here. We didn't take much damage. Only a single Fenrir part. There's a sheathed beacon here. A Gyro XL. That's not bad. I mean, they were pretty high tech. No doubt about that. AoE Rocket 5, SRM-6 Holly. Missile Accuracy FCS. That wouldn't be bad to put on our Wolverine. We may want to consider that. Yeah, I think that we should put that on our Wolverine. Giving us +2 accuracy with our direct fire missiles will result in a pretty significant damage output increase. So that's pretty good. And a lot less waste as well. So I think let's go ahead and take a look at our Wolverine after we load in here. And that shouldn't require a huge refit. Not the same way that our previous 2 refits have gone. Mostly just swapping out the FCS, but we might be able to sneak in a little extra MRM ammo, which would be a very convenient thing, for sure. That would be absolutely amazing, in fact. So let's get this loaded in, get our repairs underway. Any moment now, Yang. There we go. Okay, so 26K, 12 days. Go ahead and get that started, and we're going to cancel work on the Wolverine. So we'll hop into the mech bay.
Hey, Commander.
And let's refit the Wolverine here. We also might want to think about the AC-5 on here. We don't really have anything else. Yeah, we don't really have anything else there. So I want to max out the armor of the Wolverine here. And that's going to be the majority of what this ends up taking. This is going to put us a little bit overweight. But I want to see how much overweight. So we'll max this all out. And then I also want to throw in that extra MRM ammo. Over here. Like that. 1.5 tons. Okay, we do have a ferrofibrous armor that we can toss on here. Oh, that's so close. We can just drop a tiny amount of armor, like, in the rear right torso. Okay, just the rear torsos, like that. Or even 1 point in the head, like that. That would work well. We could also put a Gyro XL in there, if we really wanted to. But I don't think we need that. Like, what else are we going to equip on this thing? Like, it is what it is. But having an additional ton of MRM ammo will result in quite a lot. Now, we do need to get that FCS in. So the missile accuracy FCS here. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and validate that. And all looks good.
Logged and noted.
Cool.
Shouldn't be too hard.
So there's that all going. Now, we definitely can't deploy until some of these finish up. So let's get our financial report. 2, 1, and there's our financial report. Majestic is throwing a punch at Livefire. We'll wait to see how it resolves. What could go wrong? Okay, so they injured each other. 1 week kitchen labor for each of them. Fantastic.
Financial report for you, Commander.
Okay. And we will continue our financial report here. This looks completely fine. I'm not going to bump up our financial report for the moment. Our structural upgrade will be done in 1 day.
Those upgrades you asked for?
So that's fantastic. Then we can grab ourselves our 3rd mech bay. That is such a huge deal, getting that 3rd mech bay online.
Roger that, Commander.
So we will definitely do that, even though it's very expensive. And then we'll have to grab improved automation after that, but that one's pretty cheap. So that shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, sounds good. So now we need to get a few more repairs done. I certainly want to have the Jenner and the Hollander done here. Like, the 3 mechs that we have out is the 3 mechs that I don't want to have all out before we finish this up, right? 3, 2, 1, and there we go. So at this point, we can go ahead and deploy again. Let's do so. And where are we going to go? Well, we have some pretty sizable upgrades that just finished up. So we can think about running something like this. This is a blackout mission. And that could get spicy. And will probably take a while. But that's a lot of salvage. This is an escort. It's a little less pay. A Hollander is probably not the mech to bring to an escort. At least not a slow Hollander. We could run it, in theory. I'm also thinking about maybe one of these battles, but I kind of want to run this blackout. I think it's going to go poorly. We are employed by Word of Blake, though, and we might have allies. Okay, so we could drop live fire here. We definitely drop this Hatchetman. This is our bad Hatchetman. And Behemoth. And yes, our Jenner and our Hollander are slightly underweight. There's nothing we can really do about that. We are going to bring the Hollander, and we are going to bring the Jenner. And that, of course, means we bring Mongrel in the Jenner. Let's see. Behemoth has some Hatchetman affinities. And only Majestic, who is in low spirits right now, has Hollander affinities. I'm still going to bring Majestic, but he's not going to perform his best. And Darius is definitely going to tell us that this is spooky. And Darius is probably right about that. But we have a lot more armor than we've had previously, and we'll see how that goes. If it's looking too bad after the first blackout area, we'll see about bailing. But we're going to have to wait a while for the Hollander to get caught up as we go to the second area. There's no doubt about that, but that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. So this is going to be exciting. We'll see if we have any Word of Blake allies. Hopefully we do. Fingers crossed. Because these missions can get exciting. You'll usually have to deal with at least 2 to 3 lances. And it can get up there in terms of the challenge. But in this particular case, I don't think it'll be that bad. It'll be a little bad, maybe. We'll see. Okay, let's get that loading screen loaded. Here we go. The loading of the loading of the loading screen has finished. Perfect. The loading screen is currently loading. And I usually consider it a bad sign for the number of enemies we're going to be facing when it takes that long. But we need to establish a sitrep. Last week, radio comms with a strategic outpost was interrupted mid-data stream to one of the remote relays, and we've been unable to re-establish contact. Our other units are all tied up, so we need you to make contact and get a sitrep. Interrupted mid-stream. Not much does that, Commander. We better be ready for anything down there. Indeed, we better. Well, this length of time for the loading screen does not bode well, in my opinion. We'll see how this ends up going. You can have up to 3 repair bays working simultaneously with Argo upgrades and at 100% efficiency to boot.
Reactor
Yeah, we're working on
online.
it. We'll get there.
Online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Okay. Let's see what we've got. Landing site secure. We need to scout the relay. We do have allies over here. They're usually not tremendously helpful. Okay. Well, let's go scout the first zone. We're going to need to keep somewhat together
Yes, I'm there.
and not let the Hollander fall too far behind. Although as long as it has clear LOS, we're good. I've got that Cobra transport there. Okay. Well, we'll move in. Sometimes we face a lance here. Sometimes we face turrets. We'll just see what we're up against. Sometimes we don't face anything at all.
Roger.
Oh, that's kind of rare.
Moving out.
Okay.
Aye, aye.
So we've got decent LOS at this point. I'm reasonably comfortable with our Jenner cruising ahead. And let's see what we end up with. Okay.
On it.
Moving to position.
Position confirmed.
Well, we have one of our 2 units there right now. We'll get the second one soon. This game looks like RogueTech. That's because it is RogueTech. Okay. So our allies are closing in nicely as well. Is this BattleTech? Yes. But it is with the RogueTech mod set installed.
I'll do what I can.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. Turrets. Got it. No major problem here. We, of course, are not in combat this round.
On my way.
So we're just going to get as much evasive as we can. And then this round, we enter combat. So our Hollander is currently in cover here. And we should be able to hit these turrets very, very easily. I'm just checking their armor levels. Okay. 80 damage there. Not too bad. And now our hatchetman is going to close in over this way.
On my way.
We're going to hit this light turret chassis.
Confirmed.
Good armor damage there. And we'll see what our allies decide to do here. That's why it looks like BattleTech. Yeah, it is, but with the RogueTech mods installed. So it's basically kind of a completely different game, at least in terms of... Like, in terms of the ways that a lot of the things work, it's the same. But it's very different. Okay, let's see what that hover APC does. Okay, a little bit of damage to that turret chassis. Not a big deal. Our Jenner is going to head around over towards this turret chassis here and work on finishing that off a little bit. I want to sprint up over this way, I think, and that will actually increase our hit odds, which is unusual.
Affirmative.
Well, that was awkward. But we got a lot of good damage in on that turret. Cool. The Scorpion moves up and solid. Takes out that turret. I love it.
My armor's getting stripped off.
Although it did hit our hatchetman there, which is sad.
Damage is minor, Commander.
Okay. Nothing too major there. The Wolverine is going to come over here, not there. We're going to sit here. And we're going to hit this light turret chassis with as much as we can. Now, we're kind of rear arc to this standard turret here. I'm not that concerned about it.
This should be.
Ooh, just engine crits? I was really hoping that that turret would go away. Sadly, it did not. We'll see if our allies finish off any of these turrets. What do they got? A galleon moves up. Okay, there we go. We got the crits we needed. Beautiful. So the galleon finishes off this turret. Then we've got these two up here. They go for the hatchman rather than the rear arc. I like it. Hatchman's in cover, too, so this is all good. Okay. This standard turret, let's see what it does. The Cobra moves up and fires on the standard turret and doesn't really do anything. Hits the building. I expected those to be medium lasers, but they're actually large lasers. Okay. Good to know. But that also could have been a lot worse.
Waiting for orders.
So we're going to move up with our Hatchman here.
Heading out.
And we're going to fire on definitely this large laser turret.
Firing all weapons.
Cool. So that's very low on its armor at this point. The Cobra moves up and also fires on it and misses again. Boy, that's just a turret. Hit odds should be way higher than that. I don't know what's going on with them.
What's up, boss?
But we're going to move up with our Jenner up here, and we're going to look to finish off this turret. I don't know that we'll actually kill it, but we'll see. We did. Barely got a crit in there, but it was enough.
Turret.
I like it.
Yep.
So our Wolverine is going to position here
Got it.
for the MRM range. And this turret should die here, I think. Almost guaranteed. We're frozen. Okay, now we're not.
Okay, I'm on it.
There we go. Turrets were hacked. We're moving on to the next base. This is, of course, a blackout mission. And so we'll have to move up over this direction. Now, they could be under attack from this way, although with this map, I found it's much more likely that they're under attack from this direction. We're going to make our way up over this way, but the Hollander is going to be lagging behind.
On my way. Double time.
That's for sure. So we're going to try to get the Hollander to the road as quickly as possible. We should exit combat here. There we go. And the Hollander is going to be kind of leading the charge here.
Acknowledge.
The Wolverine is going to move up, and we're going to try to not really exceed how far forward the Hollander is. We want to stick with the Hollander until we get there. So that will be our speed setter. Remember, that's only an engine core 120, so it's not the fastest boy. Cool. So our allies just kind of run around and waste some time. That's fine. And at this point, our Hollander heads up over here. We do get a little bit of bonus from a little bit of bonus move speed from the road, so that's great. And our allies are going to move around a bit. Are they going to actually come with us? It's been a while since I've done a blackout mission. RogueTech allies didn't used to come with us going up here. They used to just hang out down here. Maybe that's an AI fix that they put in. I like it.
Yes, Commander.
Copy that.
Okay.
Got it. On the move.
Our consciousness threshold here is a little low because of that head hit, but it should be fine. Yeah, they're actually coming with us. Neat. That's a good change. I like it.
Receiving you.
So our Hollander is, of course, just going as fast as it possibly can,
Heading out.
which is not very
Moving to
fast,
position. Acknowledged.
but it's not the worst. It could be sprinting 2 hexes. That would be painful. And luckily, we've got a road this whole way, so it should be reasonably fine. So the main compound is, of course, up over here. And the Hollander can get to here. Nice. So we're, like, frozen, but there we go. There are random freezes in RogueTech, of course.
Understood.
The Hollander can get there in, like, 3 missions, or rather 3 turns, I think. We'll just position up here.
Moving out.
Cool. We may actually want to send the Hollander up over this way. It doesn't have jump jets. But that might be a... I don't think we can actually climb that, can we?
Commander.
I mean, we could, if we wanted to use careful maneuvers, but that's probably not the best of ideas. I think we'll just keep moving up the road for now.
Moving out.
Cool.
Copy that.
And once we get up to this tree line, we should trigger the next stage. It's really nice that our allies are coming with, though. Except this guy who got a little confused. But that's fine.
Standing by.
So I think
Location confirmed.
next round
Let's move.
is the round that will trigger it, probably. We'll see.
Copy.
Overcome our allies? Kind of. They're slightly confused. But they'll get there in the end, I think. Okay.
How's it going?
Our Hollander position's here.
Got it. On my way. Move
'Kay.
order received.
We're almost linked up with the compound. This round for sure. So they're probably going to be under attack. But not necessarily. There are multiple ways that this can play out. So I'm going to take the Hollander
Yes.
over to here.
Heading out.
We're going to put the Wolverine in this tree line, like so.
I'll do what I
We're going to
can.
put this Hatcheman over here, and then I'm going to use the Jenner to trigger this.
Affirmative.
Here's the main compound. What do we got? Welcome to the front lines. Okay, yep. We arrived just in time for the main event, and we see some Steiner units over here. I also heard something off this direction, but I think that was just in a bit of a bug. Okay, so we're under attack from this way, it looks like. We see a Pegasus, a Clint, a Saladin, and a Crosscut. That Saladin has an ultra autocannon that could be threatening, and that Clint could be reasonably threatening for us as well. We definitely reserve here.
Holding for the right opportunity.
The Clint moves up, fires at that building. Only one building has to survive. But this building is almost dead already. But now the Clint is very targetable. So we're going to move up to... I'd like to get one hex further. Would that be beneficial for us? Yes. Okay.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
Some armor damage onto that Clint. Phase 14, we're going to see some of our allies moving here, specifically this hover APC. It does not fire.
Commander.
At this time, our Jenner is going to move in over here. It's not an ideal position, but 3 evasive pips and in cover. Sounds good. We're going to fire on this Clint, but we don't expect much. Oh, we got a structure exposure. That's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. In this torso, that's a pretty decent structure exposure, actually.
Let's do this.
Our Hollander can just position exactly where it is, just turn, and fire its Gauss into this same torso.
Copy that.
Nice. So that's an arm destruction right off the bat. And that torso is still very vulnerable. Let's see what our allies decide to do here. The Cobra transport moves up, fires at the Clint, but it doesn't hit anything of note. That was a turret, I think. Okay, that Pegasus has moved off over this way. The Saladin is slightly concerning. I'm not sure what ultra autocannon it has, but that could be potentially problematic for us.
Yes.
We're going to move our Hatcheman up over this direction at this time, and we're just
On
going to
my
go
way.
for,
Double
ideally, the kill on this Clint. I don't know that that happens,
Firing.
but that's certainly a torso destruction. I like it.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Okay, that crosscut moves up. The crosscut isn't too threatening, and it goes for the Calliope there. I don't think that's a very good choice, in all honesty. Now that building dies, and now we know that that's an AC-20. So that's spooky. We'll see what our turrets and our allies decide to do here. Going for that Clint. Okay. Yeah, they're hitting the Clint hard. The Clint ejects. So the obvious focus at this point has to be that Saladin.
Waiting for orders.
The Hollander is going to position up over this direction. Oh, we're seeing this bug again? That's unfortunate.
Receiving you.
Okay. The Hollander is going to position here.
Got it.
There we go. 50% hit odds or 70 on the crosscut. It's very tempting to hit the crosscut. The Saladin is absolutely the higher threat. I think we're going to risk it. We're probably going to miss, and I'm probably going to regret everything.
Acknowledged.
Oh, we one-shot it. Nice.
Target neutralized.
Well, we'll take that, for sure. The Scorpion moves up. At this point, the Crosscut and the Pegasus are not very large of threats.
Ready for orders.
So we can definitely move in with our Hatcheman here. I'm going to sprint in as close as we can. We're pretty far away for these shots, but this is pretty good hit odds, really.
Locking in all weapons.
Now, we don't want to melee that Crosscut with, like, our Jenner, if we can help it.
Receiving you.
But I do think that we should send the Jenner out after the Pegasus.
Understood. Moving fast.
Hit odds are going to be low, but that's fine.
Firing all weapons.
We'll see what we can get. Not a lot, but we're just going to chase that Pegasus down.
Damn it.
Okay, it's going to move now. And this seems reasonably fine. The hover APC moves up and does nothing. Okay. The Pegasus moves in. Does it even have armament? It does. It just chose not to fire.
What do you need?
The Wolverine is going to get into this rear arc, and oh my, look at those hit odds. I love it. The Crosscut has very little armor in its rear arc. This is going to do a lot.
Attacking from position.
Probably dead here, actually.
Let's hit him hard.
Beautiful. That MRM-30
Tango down.
really doing work there. So all that's left now is the Pegasus. This went really, really well. We'll see what the turrets have to say about the Pegasus. That was a pretty solid armor reduction there. I like it. Okay, so our Hatchetman is running kind of hot
Aye, aye.
and could definitely use a cool off. There we go.
Standing by.
Our Jenner, at this point, I want to bring into the rear arc of the Pegasus. This thing is actually very heavily armored, except for in the left side. Which we can't melee in the left side, sadly. We can move into the left arc,
On
though,
my way.
and hit this guy in this left arc. And decent damage to it. Yeah, there's basically no armor
Standing
left
by.
there. Can we get the Hollander into range to try to exploit that arc? No. But
Double
that's
time.
not surprising. Okay, we'll see what our allies do here. Hover APC moves up, does nothing at all.
Yep.
Our Wolverine is the next one. I would love to get into that side arc. We can... Ooh, here we go. It's not ideal range for the MRM, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Because this side arc only has 29 HP.
Perfect.
And there we go. Beautiful.
Target destroyed.
Now they can reestablish their data relay. That went really well. That could have gone a lot worse, but that went really, really well. I like it. So that's absolutely fantastic. From here, we've got, well, we'll see what we get from salvage. I wouldn't mind getting those Clint parts. Don't we already have a couple Clint parts? We might be able to get a Clint online. What role would that fill for us? Kind of the same role as the Hatchetman? It might be a small upgrade to the Hatchetman. I don't know. We'd have to look at armament. We don't have many weapons. So that's a bit of a concern for us, for sure. Let's see what we get from salvage here. I would love to get that Clint. At the very least, it would be a good backup mech. And we could get rid of one of our hatchetmen. So that would be nice. What do we got? There is a bunch of Clint parts here. There's also a bunch of Saladin parts. I think that the Saladin is maybe a little bit too squishy to really go for. Of course, I was thinking a Clint was a 50-tonner. It's a 40-tonner. The Clint is maybe less of a big deal. We could get the 2 Clint parts that we need to make a Clint. We could also grab the autocannon and see if we get the Saladin parts from the roulette. We did not. But that's okay. We don't need dual engine core 105s. We've already got one, so we can get rid of both of those. Generic armor we don't need. Heavy industrial armor, if we need somebody that carries things, sure. But most of these are completely unnecessary to us, and we can do something along the lines of that. Cool. So not too much that we got out of that. We do get a Clint. But how much do we actually want a Clint? That is a question that must be asked at this point. The answer to that is, I feel like our hatchetmen basically do what it would do better. I mean, they're 5 tons up as well, so that's probably something that we'll have to think about. We've got a good amount of C-bills right now. We're not expecting to have to take too much repairs here. This really shouldn't be too bad. It really shouldn't be. So let's get this loaded in, and our repairs should be probably around like 20 to 30k again. Really not much. I hope. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Any moment now, Yang. You can do it. You can do it. I know it's hard to count all of those points of armor. There we go. 12,006 days. I like it. Not bad at all. How limited is your hangar space? Well, are you talking like in RogueTech in general, or our current hangar space? Because in RogueTech, it splits it between like 3 categories, right? You've got these hangar mechs here, so we can have as many as 5 additional currently. And then once we get another bay here, you can get another 6 in there. You can have as many as you want in storage. And then as far as drops go, we can currently only drop 4. I'm just thinking here. There's a ballistic hardpoint on this Clint. Well, I was thinking maybe we could get away with replacing the Hollander with the Clint. I'm kind of rethinking that, though, because of this stable weapons quirk. Five tons might be worthwhile. It would allow us to upgrade the engine. It'd be very expensive. Here's what I'm going to do for now. We're going to get the Clint online. We're going to ready it. That doesn't take much. And then we're going to go in fact, that's completely free. We're going to refit this. And we're going to take a look at what it has just by default and what we'd have to end up replacing. So if we hit this repair all button, that on its own is 400,000. Okay. Could we cram an AC-20 onto here? Now, this is in the arm, which is a not ideal location for the AC-20. So when you say get rid of the X, you mean in the drop team? Yes. Generally speaking, I will keep the mech around as a backup, but look to have another mech fill the same role in the team that gets dropped in. That's generally what I'm talking about when I say that. Yeah. So, hypothetically, how much space do we have if we do this. Obviously, this is going to be quite expensive, and I'm not convinced that we want to get this Clint going immediately. It will be reasonably well armored. It would be a pretty good brawler. It would definitely... Yeah, its stock combat role is a sniper and light brawler. It would definitely not fill the same role as the Hollander. That's the word I'm looking for. Excellent. So the closest we have to a 240 is either a 275 or a 175. The 240 is the stock engine. A 175 would put this at 4 and 6. That's kind of slow for a brawler. A 275 would put us at 10 tons overweight. But that would also mean 7 and 10. This would be an incredibly fast mech. I highly doubt that we can make this happen, especially since we don't have any AC-20 ammo. We maybe drop the AC-20 here, and we're heavily limited on ammo. That's for sure. Our weapons are generally heavily limited. We could run, like, ER large laser, and just have ridiculous heat efficiency problems. That's an option. We could also toss in the endosteel structure to help with that. But we could run a single ER large laser, and then, like, a medium laser bright bloom or something. That puts us just overweight. What are we looking at for heat sinks? One additional internal heatsink. Okay. So that's very awkward there. Let me turn off the chat for this so it's not covering everything up quite as much. There we go. And we could just put in, like, simply a machine gun here. It would not be great, but something like that. And then all we have is a half ton of machine gun ammo. Again, not great. But we're heavily limited by our options currently. And this is not a fantastic mech setup. Not gonna lie. We may be better off running the dual machine gun, although that'll chew through the ammo twice as quickly. Indeed. They can set between 1 and 6 shots, so in theory, 400 shots for half a ton? It's okay. So we can also swap over to a... We don't have a double heatsink kit. For some reason, I thought we had a double heatsink kit. Interesting. So obviously our heat is going to be a problem here. This guy would be a fast guy, for sure. He'd move very quickly. And in theory, out of curiosity, and this might be something that we just hold for the future. 8 tons overweight. We can definitely put in a Gyro XL. If we had an XL engine, we could think about that as well. We don't have one of those currently. If we had a ferrofibrous armor, that would be another good way to drop weight here. This is an interesting idea. Is a fast brawler with an AC-20. Gets in close, hits them hard, gets out. As backup weapons, it would just have a pair of medium lasers. So it would have a medium laser here and a medium laser here. You can see our heat efficiency as is, with just standard heatsink cooling, this is fine. We don't have any sort of free heat sinks or anything. So we would want to ideally have it be something kind of like this. We'd have to drop 10 tons. That said, an XL engine would go a long ways towards doing that. A very long ways. This would be a very interesting mech. And it's got that variable range targeting too. So that's also convenient. If we had like an Engine Core 250, that would be a lot easier. But we could just drop the Engine Core 275 and instead put in a 175. It's a lot slower, But for now, that would mean that this is viable, with the exception of not having AC-20 ammo. It would need to have AC-20 ammo. Does this require external heat sinks? It does. So we need to have 2 additional external heat sinks, like this. And the 175 is also not great on the heat efficiency in comparison. Again, we could run double heatsink kits. It wouldn't be a problem. Heat would not be a concern here. The major concern would simply be ammo. But I think this would be a doable mech. Now, this Clint is definitely not ready to go. We can rename this to add AC-20 ammo. There we go. And we'll get that ready to go. We'll add AC-20 ammo eventually to our add AC-20 ammo. Perfect. So we'll get that ready to go. That will be just fine. Add AC-20 ammo, we don't care about waiting for. The hatchetman, we kind of do. So we're going to tick forward here until our Mech Bay 3 is done. That is now done, and that is a huge efficiency boost for us. We're going to hop into our engineering. And we are going to immediately grab ourselves improved automation to get that 3rd repair bay at 100% efficiency. Beautiful. Great to see you're still streaming. Yeah, I didn't stream last week because I had some pretty major jaw issues, but we're back this week. Hello, Bob Dodd, I'll go with. Bob Dodd. Yes, I don't know why I almost messed that up. Fantastic. Well, it is about time to end this particular stream here. There isn't really enough time to to get another mission done. But what we can do is we can tick forward until the hatchetman is done here, and we can get a little bit more training done. We can go through our barracks here and make sure we're completely ready to go before the next component of this stream series, whenever that happens to be. I don't think that'll be tomorrow, but we'll see.
Good to go.
Okay, there we go, and that is great. So I think that's all we can get done today for now. I do have some stuff planned for later on. There's a family event going on, so I will have to get going here. But do keep in mind that the VOD will be up on the VODs channel eventually. Takes YouTube forever to process these VODs, but they get there eventually. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this stream possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Ken2In, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmichi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cambron, Martin Lawrence, and all the rest. And, of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.